and welcome to Steve Marriott Coaching. What's the most important question that you could ask of a team, a leader, or particularly at a meeting? Well, for me, that question's this: what's our purpose? And that's really what I want to focus on in this session. I'm not going to focus on grandiose and visionary purposes. I'm going to leave that to Simon Sinek, Steve Jobs, and the rest of the gurus. What I want to focus on in this session is real, in the moment, in your face purpose. The kind of question, the kind of thinking that can change meetings, that can galvanize action, that can really, really shift meetings from echo chambers of opinion and information and hot air into real processes that can catalyze determined and dedicated, focused action back in the business. You see, I could bet you it wouldn't take a lot of imagination for you to remember a time when you walked away from a meeting feeling that you were misaligned, misunderstood, misinformed. You see, in the absence of purpose, everything becomes a priority. So without a purpose, meetings become vehicles for people to share lots and lots of opinion with very, very little focus on what's going to happen afterwards. So as a result, we all walk out of the meeting and everybody scatters to the four winds and gets busy. The problem is that they get busy doing what they individually think is important, and that leads to unaligned or misaligned action, which is basically a waste of time. So I want to share with you a story, and it's a story of love and hate. When I first came across this technique, I can assure you that I was definitely out. I thought it was formulaic, I thought it was a bit too contrived, and I just basically rejected it. But by seeing the immediate impact that it had at a meeting and using it time and time again, I chose to work with it. And by working with it, I got better at it. And I really value it to the point now that it's one of my fundamental go-tos whenever I'm working with groups, on projects, or with individuals. So I want to share with you a really simple framework as to how you can get really compelling purpose. And it's got three elements. So the formulaic approach is to do something in order to create an output or an outcome so that it has an impact beyond the meeting. That's really what purpose is all about. So let's take a look at those three elements. The first element is about actions, to do something. So get a piece of paper and a pen and write down the things that you want people to be doing in this meeting. Will they be sharing information? Will they be challenging each other? Will they be exploring blind spots? Will they be getting into a passionate rumble? Will they be, really, really pushing it to the limits? Be prescriptive about what are the things that you are going to enter into in this meeting. Now, as a result of doing that, you're going to create something, and that's about an output or an outcome. So it's, to do something in order to create alignment, make an agreement, decide on actions. You know me by now, and my passions are, in all meetings, they're simply about making decisions and taking actions. So as long as it leads up to those, that's what we're about. So your debate, your sharing of information, your making presentations, your arguing is about gaining alignment, making decisions, and going and taking actions. So to do things in order to create outputs and outcomes, and once those outputs and outcomes leave the meeting or leave that room, they'll go into the business. And this is where you want that purposeful action beyond the meeting. So it's so that those actions will have an impact in the wider business, or that they will move our results in a positive direction. So it's to do things in the room in order to create outputs and outcomes so that those outputs and outcomes will have an impact and beneficial results out in the wider business. Now, if you love and understand everything that I've just talked about, then you're already doing it anyway. So keep doing it, get better at it. You know the value of this. If not, and you're feeling a little bit of discomfort, a little bit of tension, that itch in your insides about what this is all about, trust me, this is a skill. And from my own experience, from really despising it, by working with it, by understanding it, and more importantly, seeing the value, the immediate impact that it can have, you'll get better at it. So like any skill, it takes practice. Go with it. Go through the discomfort. Keep at it. Get better at it. Because I promise you, by doing that and getting really good at getting on purpose, you can transform leaders, individuals, projects, and meetings. So let's put that into practice. So we're talking about purpose, and those three elements of purpose are to, do something, in order to, so that. So let's look at some of the things that you might want to put into your plan. So in the first instance, we're talking about 2. What that might be is to share information, to debate, to explore blind spots, to challenge each other, maybe to rumble, definitely to question, test assumptions, make some suggestions, offer in opinions, share perspectives, you name it, all of those actions and contributions that can really get your meeting going. In order to, now we're focusing on outputs and outcomes. So in order to agree, gain alignment, learn, maybe understand better, create plans, communicate, but ultimately it's about making decisions and taking actions. And those decisions and actions will have an impact on the wider business. So we're looking for results and wider impact. So that could be delivering the plan, could be working more effectively together, could be to improve certain specified results, achieve goals, hit your targets, but ultimately benefit the business. So as a starter for 10, a really simple scratch purpose that will just elevate people's thinking when they come into the room might look something like this. To share information, test our assumptions and explore blind spots in order to create a detailed plan of action and a communication strategy so that everyone involved has a clear understanding of their personal responsibilities, timescales, and can work effectively to deliver the plan. It doesn't have to be rocket science, doesn't have to be anything too complicated. Something as simple as that can have a really great impact and create purpose for everybody in the room.